Let's turn the floor over to Lorne. Lorne's got an interesting topic to discuss. The Great Pumpkin is a bad apple. Please explain.
So buckle in. We live in really divided times when people are quick to just scream at each other in grocery parking lots, to where the point where people will steal lawn signs out of people's yards, times where we have race riots in cities for the first time in decades. It seems like 2020 just tore out our souls and replaced them with a dry cinder block and said, deal with this for this year. When everything else has gone wrong, you can always count on a company like Apple to it up a little worse. No, let me correct myself. I was going to say an entire generation, but that's underselling it. 5 entire generations grew up watching It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, on either CBS initially or ABC afterwards. It was a rite of passage, even if you didn't particularly like cartoons. I'm not a cartoon guy. I don't really like kids' entertainment. I didn't grow up liking kids' entertainment, but the Great Pumpkin was always there. It was a staple. It was something that connected everyone. It didn't matter where you came from, what your background was. The Great Pumpkin and the innocence of Charles Schulz's creation, with that great jazz score, that upbeat attitude, that irrelevance, it spoke to every kid at some point and every adult too. Well, this year, you can't simply turn on a television set and watch it, because Apple have decided, being the new rights holders, that they're putting it on Apple Plus. Now, they are making it available for free and on their service to anyone for a whole week, because that makes all the difference in the world. That kind of still assumes that you have to either have their service or one of their devices or both. I'm sorry. I am a capitalist at heart. You will not find anyone who believes more firmly in the idea of going out there, finding a product, marketing it, and making some change off of it. But in our society, there needs to be some things that are too important to the society at large to just make a cheap dollar off of. And this title in particular is where I am drawing my line. The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, would be one of the things that could start healing us from a year in which there's too many raised voices, too many irrational spirits, and you know what? Frankly, too much fear and paranoia. This show brings peace to everyone for its 22 minutes. Apple sequestering it into a corner, locking the closet door from so many kids, especially poor kids who have it the worst right now of anyone out there, is reprehensible behavior. This is worse than simply a matter of worrying about capitalists making money. This is people who are deciding to change the course of childhood as it goes forward. Because now, if you think this is going back to where it was, it won't. Because I guarantee Apple will make money off of this move. So, Frosty the Snowman, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, what's next? What is that thing that you consider important for every kid to experience? For me, it was always more the Halloween stuff than the Christmas stuff or the Easter stuff. Or are there Valentine's Day specials? I don't know. But we need to protect ourselves culturally in this moment. We need to tell Apple, no, you can't have my Great Pumpkin. I will stand out in the pumpkin field waiting for them to return the holiday and our society to a little bit of its civility. So no, you can't force me to buy your service or buy your tablet. In fact, now you can pretty much guarantee I never will. So Raiho, you're in Canada. What do you think?
So every year I look forward to this to watch it with my kids, and I've been waiting. I've actually been checking the guide constantly. Gonna prep to PVR it or watch or whatever with them. They've been like, "When's it gonna be on, Daddy? When's it gonna be on?" And I found it one day on the guide, and I was like, "Okay, I clicked record on it." And within 2 days, I noticed that I was getting this Care Bears show, and I didn't know what was going on. Went to look, and they actually swapped it out. They changed it. I don't know how this Apple deal went down or whatever, but they're literally stripping this off of out of people's hands. They're like, if you don't own an Apple device, you can't watch this thing. Like, I get it, it's free or whatever, and a lot of people have this stuff, but it enrages me. I went out and found the last DVD copy I could find in friggin' Canada, and I hope that Apple didn't get a cut on it. It was an old crappy DVD that I found at Walmart, so that I can have it and show it to my kids and not give them a dime, because this whole thing is just ridiculous. And I think you made a great point. We need to take this one back. I don't know. Don't watch it. Don't stream it. Even if you have an Apple device, maybe skip it this year. I think it's on archive.org. You can go on there and get, I think, like every one of the specials that they have or whatever. You can go in there and watch it and pirate it, whatever you got to do.
I just looked it up on Amazon. You can get the remastered deluxe edition DVD for $14.45. Hold on, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. It's actually temporarily out of stock.
Oh.
I know the Blu-ray's on there with, I think it's packaged with the Christmas and Thanksgiving and maybe another one. So you could pick that up. Although I did notice that the price went on that I think it went up like $15 all of a sudden too. So I don't know. They're just trying to drive you to Apple Plus. I think it's I want to use it, but it's BS.
Well,
that's what I'll say.
if there's any Charlie Brown Christmas fans out there, that DVD is available on Amazon for $11.99. Get it, because it's going next. The 4K Blu-ray is $25.76, and the regular Blu-ray is $20.61. So get that one before the end of November, or else it will be only available on Apple Plus too, I'm sure.
It's real easy for us to say, well, we'll go out and buy a copy. But that doesn't really fix the problem. What about the kid that's growing up in a household that's not even making rent? That doesn't have a working television in their house. Or if they do have a working television, they certainly don't have a streaming service. They certainly don't have a tablet. We have to protect the culture here, and then we have to draw a line in the sand. This is where I draw it.
I agree. I'm infuriated, actually, because I watched it every year of my entire life. So for one Halloween to come up and it's just not going to be available is a travesty. And it's a tradition. And I'm tired of everybody breaking traditions that I think are important. And I think that us all growing up with this, with the Peanuts, and growing up watching their specials, it's important to us. And I think it's important to pass that on to our kids, and for our kids to pass it on to their kids. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that they're getting selfish with, content like this. It should be available for people to see, because TV used to be free. We had 3 stations, before cable, it was 3 stations, and it was free. It was public broadcast. And nowadays everything is for $1, and that's fine. I'm a capitalist, but I also think that there are some things that, that are sacred. And I believe that the Peanuts, and especially the Halloween episode, is sacred.
I wonder if this is going to be the beginning of a trend where more and more of television is taken away from television and put on some sort of streaming service. Instead of 24 hours of A Christmas Story on TNT, it'll be 24 hours of A Christmas Story on, I don't know, Amazon
Hulu.
Prime or something. Yeah, Hulu. Yeah.
Deli Ghost is asking about how this fits into my philosophies of libertarianism. And I'll tell you what, it does, because long term, if the companies are allowed to just take the cultural artifacts that have shaped us as a people and monetize them, long term, that makes us less free, because we will not be able to shape our own society. I am not talking about the Gummy Bears animated series here. Okay? Yeah, okay. Make that something you have to buy for $1.99. That's fine. I just think there are things core to our culture, and that's long been recognized in our society. That's the very reason things do eventually become public domain, is because things become important enough and part of the culture enough that they shouldn't be able to be monetized in perpetuity. So I see no contradiction.
finished.